So this is continuing on with lesson 2.6. This is the second video, 2.6b in elementary algebra on applications, and we're just getting down to geometry problems. Okay, so in order to do some of these problems, you have to know some formulas. The first formula we're going to look at is P equals 2L plus 2W. So perimeter equals twice the length plus twice the width. Okay, so what do we have? We have a rectangle. So let's go ahead and draw a rectangle, because when we draw pictures, it not only helps, but it also keeps us from actually having to answer the question right away. It gives us a chance to play. So if you want to color this in, that kind of thing, while you're putting off actually doing the story problem, that's always helpful. So the length of a rectangle is 5 inches more than twice the width. So what do we know the least about? We know the least about the width. What do I know about the length? It's 5 more than twice the width. So that's 5 more than twice the width. So that's all they give us so far. Let's see. The perimeter is 34 inches. So P, I guess we're not going to write P. We're going to write 34 equals 2L plus 2W. So 34 is the perimeter. Find the length and the width. Okay, so 34 equals 2 times the length. What do we say the length was? 2W plus 5 plus 2W. And then we do the math. Distribute. We're going to add the W's together. Subtract 10, because we're trying to get the W by itself. So 24 equals 6W divided by 6, divided by 6. Those go away. 24 over 6 is 4, so W equals 4. So we found that part of it. Now we need to find out how long it is. Well, the length is 2W plus 5. So therefore, 2 times 4 plus 5. So it's 8 plus 5 is 13. So 13 wide, or 13 long and 4 wide. So the next example, which would be example number 5, this is the last one, has to do with coin problems. Alright, this is another one of those problems where I like to do the little tables, and the book looks like it's doing that too. So we've got Jennifer, one person. She has $2.45 in dimes and nickels. So if we add her amount of nickels together with the amount of dimes, we get $2.45. So how do we find the amount of nickels? Well, we take the number of nickels and we multiply that times how much a nickel is worth, 5 cents. So if we have 10 nickels times 5 cents, that means we have 50 cents worth of nickels, right? It's the same with dimes. If we have 6 dimes, we multiply the value of the dime and we get 60 cents. So if we add those up, that gives us a total amount of nickels and dimes. So all that is just to kind of give you an idea of what's going on there when it gives you an amount like $2.45. That is how much money we have in nickels plus how much money we have in dimes added together. So we have $2.45 in nickels and dimes. If she has 8 more dimes than nickels, how many of each does she have? Alright, so let's make our little table. So we've got our number and we have our value. Because remember, I said the value times the number gives you how much money you have. So that's nickels. Whoa, that doesn't look like an N, does it? Nickels and dimes. Alright, so a nickel's value is 5 cents. A dime's value is 10 cents. So let's see what we've got here. What do we know the least about? 8 more dimes than nickels. So we know how many dimes she has. She has 8 more than we have in nickels. So we knew nothing about her nickels. And her dimes are 8 plus X. So 8 more. All right, so however many nickels we have, if we multiply it by 5 cents, that will give us our value of nickels. So if this x here were 3, then 3 times however many, or however much the value of a nickel is, 5 cents, would give us how much money we have. So we'd have 15 cents. Same with the dimes. But a dime is worth 10 cents. So we take the value of a dime and multiply by how many dimes we have. We have 8 more than nickels, so x plus 8. Alright, so when we add the value of our nickels up, 5 cents times however many nickels we have, and if we add that to the value of a dime, 10 cents, times x plus 8, our number of dimes, we get $2.45. Okay, and this is where it gets a little tricky. Notice my 5 here. It doesn't say, it isn't in a decimal at all, because a nickel is a decimal is 0.05. Okay, but since it's just in written as 5, we can't write anything else in decimal. Now notice 10 instead of 0.1 like a 10 should be. So like if you're talking about $3.10, you do that. Here's the 10 cents part. But it isn't written like that. There's no decimal there. Well, if there's no decimal there, I can't have a decimal here in my 245. So we're going to make that go away and just make it 245. So what this looks like then is this is 5 pennies, which is a nickel, 10 pennies, which is a dime, and 245 pennies, which is $2.45. So because I didn't have a decimal here or here, I can't have one here. So I just take it off. If I did have decimals there, I could leave it there. So just something to be consistent. If you don't have decimals on one side, you can't have them on the other. All right, so let's go ahead. Do our distributive. 10x plus 80 equals 245. You're going to add those together. Subtract 80 from both sides, so that goes away. And this will be minus 80. So that gives me 140, 55, 65, 165. Once I subtract, divide both sides by 15. And 165 divided by 15 is 11. So I have 11 x's, which are nickels. So I have 11 nickels, and 11 plus 8 is 19. So I have 11 nickels and 19 dimes. And don't forget to do that. Just because you found out x is 11 doesn't mean you're done. You have to go back and find out what you were looking for, and then that will determine whether you're done or not. So that's it for Lesson 2.6 in Elementary Algebra.